What's going on, guys? It's the Saints Hub here, back with another video. Today we're going to be going over who the Saints have met with, interviewed for the upcoming 2020 draft, which is now in 4 days. I'm recording this at 1:37 a.m., 4:19, so if anything changes, let me know down in the comments. I'll probably make a video on it if it's something that big, but yeah. I want to preface one or two things before it starts. My last video, I think I made a mistake. I thought you only draft who you interview, and it turns out this is not the case. So, because last year we only drafted one person we interviewed. We didn't even interview McCoy or Chauncey, and the one person was Elise Mack. So, yeah, interviews are still important, however, because it lets us know who we're interested in, but it's not definitive of anything like I thought or made it seem in my last video, so I apologize for that. And I'm not going to be going over every single player we've interviewed, mainly just the more notable or players we really seem to be interested in. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Pre-draft FaceTime visits, we'll start it off with Mason Fine, quarterback out of University of North Texas, 3,088 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, with a 5.4 prospect grade. That equals priority free agent. Now, a lot of you guys are either like, who the fuck is Mason Fine? Or you're like, oh yeah, that's the guy we're obsessed with, because we are. He had an interview with this man. I'm sorry, not an interview. He had a whole workout with Drew Brees. He's had multiple meetings with Sean Payton. So he's nailing these interviews because, let's be honest, whoever he's playing against at University of North Texas, 95% of the defenses are not going to the NFL. And he didn't even put up 30 touchdowns. I'm not saying his stats are bad, but like for where he's playing and then to go to the NFL, he didn't even put up 30 touchdowns. So he has to be nailing these interviews, or Sean just sees some in that I don't see. I don't really see him taking over like the helm after Drew. I see him just like a 7th round pick or a undrafted free agent signing. Next up is Louisiana Tech corner Amik Robertson, the playmaker, who had a 6.25 grade, 5 picks, 2 touchdowns, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. Amik is a great playmaker that could easily contribute right away to this team. And the only reason he's really falling, at least in my opinion, is the height. I am 5'8", 5'9" with shoes. That is definitely not the ideal height for a corner. So basically you're saying my height would be guarding fucking Mike Evans, and that's not ideal, or something like that, like, guarding a big receiver. But nonetheless, he's still really good at what he does, and he doesn't let his height stop him. He still goes up against the big receivers, and he makes plays that, I feel like we have some guys that can make plays, but we have more guys that are just, they do their job. They don't go, we have some guys that are playmakers, but I feel like we need more playmakers, at least in my opinion. But yeah, I'm really happy we've interviewed Amik because I definitely see him having a pivotal role if we drafted him on this team. Next up is wide receiver out of Texas A&M, Courtney Davis. He didn't participate in the combine much. He had a 5.95 grade, 54 catches, 616 yards, 4 TDs. I don't want him unless it's in the 5th round because I see nothing that stands out to me. 4 touchdowns shows me nothing. 600 yards shows me nothing. I'm assuming Texas A&M's quarterback is not very good because I don't know who it is. But a 5.95 grade does not in the slightest bit get me excited. So unless Sean sees something in him, I want him in the 5th round. I've heard of him and was kind of surprised when I saw all these stats because he's a name that keeps popping up. So maybe the stats don't show everything with Courtney. But as of right now, that's not the wide receiver I want to see take over for Emmanuel Sanders when he retires. Next up is quarterback out of Utah State, none other than Jordan Love. Jordan Love had, at least in my, no one's going to agree with me, an abysmal junior year with 3,402 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. What everyone sees in Jordan Love is the sophomore year of Jordan Love. Well, they see a very projectable quarterback. I think he's 6'4". He's got a good arm. But, and his sophomore year, he had a great year. 3,567 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 6 picks. He also had a 6.36 comma grade, prospect grade, which is really good. And the thing about Love is, where does Utah, I think it was the Mountain West Conference football. You ever fucking heard of that? No, you haven't, because no one watches Mountain West football. And to throw 17 interceptions against guys that most likely aren't going to be in the NFL. I think the most other notable team in there that I saw was Boise State. Don't quote me. I don't know college football like that. But that's alarming to me. And I know most teams are seeing this projectable guy and they're overlooking this year because it's Utah State, and I'm pretty sure they had some coaching fiasco. They're looking at that sophomore year. But that junior year is so very, very important because it was an abysmal fucking year. I mean, that's just awful fucking stats. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we drafted Jordan Love after we draft our linebacker, but if we waste our if we draft him with the 24th, I would be mad. I definitely think, I'm not a big Jordan Love fan, so I think he'll be a starter one day, but I don't know, man. Y'all are gonna have to convince me. I don't see the fucking Patrick Mahomes comparisons at all, but whatever. Next up is J.K. Dobbins. I think it's weird that we're interviewing first-round running backs, unless the Kamara rumors are true, but holy fucking shit, this man is a beast. I don't know college football like that, but this might be one of the most iconic seasons. Like, Saquon Barkley, for example, tore up college, I think got drafted second or third, and had 1,269 yards. This man had 2,003 yards and 6.7 yards a carry. He almost averaged 7 yards a fucking carry on 301 attempts. You cannot stop J.K. Dobbins. Holy balls, this man is dominant. He had a 6.38 grade. There's not much to say. The man is good. I don't see a way in the NFL that he sucks because he played at Ohio State. He's playing against the best competition in college football. He dominated Clemson, which has a very strong defense. I think he had 197 yards in the natty, semifinals, whatever you call it for college football. He's a beast. I mean, I'd love to have him on the team, but I would hate to waste his career him sitting behind Kamara. So, I don't know. Next up is Like Fotu out of Utah. I did not write anything down for some reason, but he had a 6.10 grade. Oh, that's right, because his stats were abysmal. He had 0.5 sacks at the D-tackle role. I didn't see anything that impressed me about him, except the grade isn't too shabby. Don't think we need DTs. I like Rankins. We just signed on Yameta, but you got to interview all your prospects, and that's probably just why, and my hand looks giant because I had to scroll down. In-person interviews, the only two notable ones, at least in my opinion, were Mason Fine, and we have a chubby for him or something, and Ezra Cleveland. Ezra Cleveland is an offensive tackle out of Boise State who ran, at least in my opinion, for a 310-pound man, a 4.93 40-yard dash, which in my opinion is really good. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. I'd love to bring in Ezra at maybe the fifth round. I see a lot of potential in Ezra. I think he's really fucking good and very projectable player. I definitely can see him thriving. I don't think he would play tackle unless we lose Ram or Tehran. So maybe that's the thing though. Unless we lose Larry. I mean, I would bring him in because we got a lot of offensive linemen on contracts. But I would be very happy with Ezra. I think he's really good. Senior Bowl visits, we met with Shea Patterson, quarterback, Michigan. He had 3,061 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He's just kind of a late-round quarterback. Some people have told me they see some potential in him. I'd be fine taking him in like the 6th or 7th round, get that back third-string quarterback or second string if he really proves us wrong. He's nothing special, but I don't think he's bad. Also, Senior Bowl visit was Courtney Davis. We already talked about him. I don't see much of him, but maybe they see more in him. Now, the next one we had a Senior Bowl visit in is probably, I'd say, the biggest we've had, and that's Zach Bond. Like, biggest prospect. At least, now Jordan Love is. For Zach Bond, in a 6.50 prospect grade. His NFL comparison, according to NFL.com, was Kyle Van Noy, who I would love to have on this team. 53 solo tackles, 12.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 pick. The only reason I'm not a huge fan of Bond, yes, he's a linebacker, but he's more of an edge linebacker, and we just need more of a linebacker. But Zach Bond's a fucking beast. I mean, he's a big baller. The only thing that it concerns me about Bond is that he was found to have a diluted sample at the combine. So basically it just means like he claims he was trying to drink water to get his weight up, which actually kind of makes sense, but also doesn't. But what a diluted sample means is you had a lot of water in your system, and it's suspected that you were trying to flush something bad out of your system, aka steroids, weed, drugs, whatever. Under the new NFL CBA, this won't affect him at all, basically, but it's still a red flag, at least in my opinion. And it doesn't make me not want to draft him because he's a really good player, but it's concerning, you know? And for some reason, I did not write down Jeff Gladney. Don't know why, but Jeff Gladney is a really solid corner out of TCU. I would love to bring in Jeff Gladney, but I don't see it happening because we're not drafting a corner in round 1. But Jeff Gladney is a really solid corner out of TCU, and I would be ecstatic if we got him in the 2nd or 3rd, but he's not going to make it to the 3rd. So we'd have to trade up early 2nd, and I just don't see that. But we have interviewed Jeff Gladney. Don't know why I didn't wrote it down. My mistake, but I'm not recording this video for the 5th time. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. If you're watching and made it to the end, 90% of you are not subscribed. Only, I think it said 9% were. So 91 actually are not subscribed. So if you could hit that sub button for me, that would be awesome. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you got any video ideas you want me to do, comment down below. Who are you most excited about that we interviewed? Let me know. Until next time, guys. Saints Hub, and I'm out.